say that, but since you're not Dutch, I'm not going to take it as a fact of the matter.
Well,
Their government sent us something like 20,000 tulips every year. But, okay.
So?
But we all...
You know that's not politics, right?
Flowers are nice. No, that's because of the World War II.
No, that's politics.
To be fair, Soap, have you ever listened to the Pope's Easter speech?
Was the Pope Dutch?
No.
He dunks on Canadians all the time. He's like,
Does he?
come on to Father, give unto me, unto the others, and then, yeah, except for Canadians, they already have enough. Haha, teehee, and continues. I'm just kidding.
No. The Pope always ends his speech with bedankt voor die bloemen, which means thank you for the flowers in Dutch. We also send flowers to the Vatican, and it's not like we really care too much about...
I get it. I'm wrong. Move on. I'm only messing around anyways.
We're teasing, don't worry.
I know.
Bedankt voor die bloemen.
I was honestly just buying you guys some time because some of you sounded like you were still logging in. But yeah. Okay. We'll get started then. Buying you some more time with intro monologue. As your team wanders back further into the darkness after being accosted by, well, a multitude of whatever those things were. You never really figured that thing out other than giant worm things with like legs. So not really worms now that I think about it. Because what would they be called now that I think about it?
Centipedes.
Anyways. Oh, what was that?
Centipedes?
Maybe, but no. Like, I'll explain later, but it's like worm something. I forgot what it was.
We just called them a bad time.
Before they could kill you, you guys managed to steer away and use vibrations in the ground to steer them away from you guys, which was good, honestly, because they're takeable. Like, you guys can take them, but the main problem was them grabbing you and then just diving into the abyss with fall damage and potentially just dying.
Kamikaze works.
Yeah, but you managed to travel further away until you managed to get to this room. I think a short rest later, you managed to get here. You can tell that the pathway to the right is the pathway to take. There is a pathway to the left, but I think it was boom. When you looked at it, there was like 5 feet into the cave and then a straight shot down 30 feet. So just don't run into that room and you should be fine.
But the one over in the upper left.
But before that, you guys found a shrine-like thing floating in the water with fresh fish in there, including I am blanking on the type of shark. Doesn't matter.
Reef shark?
Reef shark. I think that's what we went with because I can't still remember, even to this day. Found this area with a celestial being in the middle. You read a passageway describing something about them falling and one day will be let free when needed. And then you guys thought, if this is good or bad, how do we break it? And you guys already saw the 6 or 7 floating gems in this circle, so that might be a way. If you're able to like hit all of those, they could potentially do it. Is Brack's idea. It's also not a bad idea. It's just you don't know what you might be unleashing. So going back to topic and in game, you guys can tell that based off the story, this celestial fell from grace. Whether that means like turn to evil, you're not entirely sure, because falling from grace can just mean you did something for your own sensibilities, or perhaps trying to save one family from a total apocalyptic eclipse or something of that nature. You're not entirely sure what that means, since none of you are celestials. But you can tell that there are times when things are absolute, and if someone goes astray, well, then they are fallen to others. Sometimes it's something petty, and sometimes it's something vicious and quite literally criminal. You don't know what this is, and right now, Boom goes over towards the other room.
I was gonna see if I could get Echo to look on the other side of these crystals, since I can't fly.
Oh yeah. I'm honestly surprised you didn't think of that beforehand.
So am I.
Echo's pretty small, so you do see Echo go into where the crystals are and begins to move their body until they get to the other side. And Echo is a familiar, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna look through Echo's eyes.
Yeah. You look through the eyes, and I'm assuming at least 60 feet of dark vision. Or sonar vision, technically. Echo begins to create echolocation, and you do see that the room itself in front of you is expansive and very big, but after 10 feet. So not immediately, but afterwards there's a big expanse there. As Echo begins to fly over there, it stops beforehand as you then see something inside, like sleeping. I don't think they technically sleep, but I'm gonna make them sleep anyways.
Oof.
Echo sees a giant room, and inside that room is a sleeping purple something. Right now, they can just see the skin, and it's right in front of them.
Some dope echolocation.
I am summoning...
You wouldn't technically get the color, but you're like face to face with it.
I am summoning Echo back to me and carefully stepping away from the crystals.
You know what? I'm gonna go back to what Gothos put. Something big sleeping in there. You don't get purple, but it's still big, so it's potentially dangerous.
That is perfectly fine.
Was it?
Well, hey, Gothos doesn't know. My bat's blind sight could be like a purple radar.
I guess.
Sure.
Thematically,
Maybe
it would work.
everything's a purple return. Like I look at Gothos and with blind sight. Oh, yep, he's purple too. I don't care what color he thinks he is.
It's like the night vision where everything's green. You're just like purple, purple, purple. It's all purple.
LiDAR.
But yeah, you can probably tell or guess why it's pointing towards the right now. But besides that, still the thing in the middle of the room.
I am going to go ahead and take this opportunity to let everybody know, hey, just a little friendly public service announcement. Past those crystals over there to kind of along the left where that cave entrance is, there is some sort of big nasty thing sleeping on the other side of those things, and we probably don't want it to have a grumpy morning.
Where?
I point over in this direction, towards the big crystal cluster in the upper left corner of the map.
Yes. Interesting. Oh.
Serious question. Is it purple? Sorry.
Let me ask my familiar.
I think your familiar can't only speak with you. So in your mind, you just hear your, you know what? I want to give you a bad voice. Sure, why not? You do hear Echo in your mind going, yeah, boss. It does look like a little bit purple, perhaps. Maybe some violet hues. Maybe some cerulean.
It is definitely cerulean.
Well, I don't know about any cerulean worms, but we got to look out for the purple ones.
Oh, it sounds rather surreal.
Well, I suppose one could use illumination, but I don't think we want to find out what color it is because it came over and decided to start eating us.
Yep. Now, did we decide if we're gonna release this celestial being that, you guys are all looking at over there?
Do we know why the celestial being would need releasing?
Don't know why we'd need imprisonning.
Antidote does state, honestly, I am not sure. If a celestial was brought down here, into the Underdark itself and isolated, two factors would have likely needed to be in play. One is that they fell from grace, which just simply means that I suppose their caretaker didn't care for an action they did. And the other one, well, they didn't want to see them again, so they buried them into a place isolated into shadow and darkness. They could be potentially dangerous, but they could also be potentially just... I suppose the best way I can describe it is hyper-focused on their faith.
And the language that's over there on the center, what language, whatever writing there is, what language is it?
I don't know, I'm not there.
It was primordial, right?
Yeah, it was. Wait, were you asking me or were you asking Antidote? I can never tell sometimes.
No. I was asking you.
No, not you, Bract. I understand you.
I was accessing the party.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, if it's primordial, then would I have any way of gauging whether or not something using primordial as a language might be good or evil given the circumstances?
You just know it's ancient. But go ahead and try to jump on there, and you might be able to discover, like, if it's good or evil based off of, I guess, calligraphy skill? Yeah! I'm sure Celestials are, like, super into writing.
To be fair, though.
Calligraphy skill?
I
think I've got a minus 20 in that.
Yeah. That's my question.
Mm-hmm.
About primordial. It's basically Ignan, Terran. What are the other two called? Aquan.
The elemental languages, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Which script of which writing style is involved?
All of them. They're intermingled. So it's true primordial rather than a subsect.
That bicycle.
They walk the eightfold path.
The fourfold path.
Yeah.
There are four short for it.
Yeah, it's basically Latin to your English, Spanish, German?
English is a Germanic language. No,
Yes.
it's more your Italian and your French.
I'm not a linguist. Technically, I kind of am. Not important right now.
Shit.
Right now?
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, you jump over to see if there's any calligraphy skill.
I'm debating on that.
Because I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, Brack doesn't know calligraphy, unless you tell me otherwise, Brack.
No, calligraphy is not my cup of tea.
Kobo just learned to read, so I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
Actually, Toulouse, based off of your background, he might know.
You think so?
Yeah, because you've dealt with like royalty and things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean.
Although you also try not to deal with them, so how much does Toulouse? How much does he remember?
I mean, he's kind of young, so not a whole. Like, he remembers everything, but he didn't learn. Like, he learned. Where's my shit?
Like, I'm not saying he'd forget. I'm just saying, like.
I know. I'm like, well, how much did he learn? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did he learn the full? Maybe he learned only half of his calligraphy, and that's it. I don't think he would learn the full amount of it, but he might know enough to be like, yeah, that's calligraphy. Yeah, it's this, like,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little
Okay.
bit.
Go ahead and roll investigation. It's gonna be a little bit harder, but definitely doable if you roll well enough.
Investigation. Let's see. Investigation?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Well, unless you think of something else better.
I rolled out from the skills thing. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
Shouldn't have given you investigation. I should have said something like raw religion.
Plus 1 gazillion.
Okay. You rolled pretty well anyways to begin with, so I would have given you it at 18, maybe 17, but 28, you get it. Based off of the wording and how it's written, it's tough to go back to this type of thing. You've dealt with rich people, you've taken notes and stuff, you forged notes to get money. Yeah, this seems hocus pocus, highly dexterous, very ornate, very decorative, even etched in stone. It is something very pretty. So definitely Celestial wrote this. Based off how much it's built and constructed, definitely a good Celestial. Air quotes on good, it just means that high-leveled Celestial.
And I do that too. I'm like, it's a good one.
Someone with authority, at the very least, you know.
Yeah, like it's a high-end celestial being.
Well, if you think a good creature wrote that, I don't think it would be inclined to be locking up another good creature.
And it looks at you, you'd be surprised, honestly. But again, entirely up to your view.
Well, I'm leaning against releasing it unless we find some other evidence that indicates that whatever's inside it is not some sort of horrific thing.
The only thing you've seen so far in this room after investigating, and I think one of you rolled a 20, you can tell that there's 7 gemstones flying not too high up in the air, but above and on the pillar system. You can tell that the thing in the middle is floating in the middle as well, hovering, being surrounded by shadows overlapping its true form. Basically, it's prison. You can also tell that the stone itself has markings on top of it, and it's also floating on the water, where the fish and the reef sharks are. Other than that, you see nothing currently visible, other than the cold stone in the area, the crystals here and there that are very, very strong, and like the maybe purple worm a couple of yards to the left. A little more than a couple of yards, but enough to consider it.
I say release the thing. Gods always treat their servants worse than they should.
Okay, I gave you a big clue there, but that's fine. You can ignore it.
Oh, geez.
7, purple worm.
Use the purple worm to free the creature.
No, it was subtle, the hint and clue.
Can you say what you said again?
Sure. Based on the investigation you have already there, you see 7 stones flying just a little bit above the pedestals there. In the middle is the Celestial hidden in Shroud Shadow, holding and not showing its true form. You do see that there's insignia inscription on the floating surface pedestal, floating on the water with the reef sharks and the other fresh fish. Other than that, the only thing you really see is the cold rock in the area and the maybe purple worm to the left, more than a couple yards, but enough to take note that it's there.
So
Did anybody ever read what was on the crystal itself?
Nope, at least I didn't.
Toulouse, Kobo, and Brack, since you're there, there's nothing on the crystals. The crystals themselves just to be floating and like hovering. That's honestly it.
Like you said, there was something inscribed on the middle guy.
No, I mean on the podiums, where Brack and Toulouse have already been reading.
Okay.
Well, not on the podiums, but like on the ground. Next to the podiums.
Well, if you can sound it out, I do know how to speak primordial, but...
Toulouse and Brack have already read it.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
everything on this surface has already been read.
And did I hear you right that we could see whatever it was that's being currently confined?
No, it's being covered by shroud and shadow.
Oh, okay.
I think I said that like
How
twice.
much water is there in the pond?
Pretty deep. It's pretty clear water. Like even with your dark vision, you can see the bottom, but it's that type of instance where it's so clear you're not sure how deep it is.
No, well, that's gotta take a while to drain.
I'm going to estimate about 40,000 gallons. So
Someone can
let's
like
call
maybe
it,
throw a rock.
Let's call it 160,000 liters.
Like, boom, you're smart. You can determine the velocity of a rock, even in water, and estimate maybe to see how deep it is.
Sure. Okay. I'll take some pebble. Watch it turn out to be some sort of mimic rock.
God, this is pretty smart too. But Boom decided to do it.
Doesn't somebody just cast light on it and then drop it?
Wow, that'd be a good spell if I had it. I'll just go ahead and drop it and watch it sink.
All right. You do so, and you count the seconds: 2 minutes, 2 hours. Thankfully enough, it's only a second. Well, not a second, but a few seconds. It goes down, and obviously it can't hit terminal velocity, but you determine how far it is based off of that. And after a good 10 seconds, it hits the ground. So maybe 50 feet deep.
Oh, okay. So make that 1.6 million liters.
Either way, it's going to take a couple days to drink it.
Hope you got a big bladder, Bract. I'm going to take that as it only has room for alcohol.
Or they're muted.
And does anybody have any ability to try to probe a creature? Get any sort of vibe on all this stuff? Bad feeling sense? A grumbling gut?
Gothos had divine sense up, so he did sense that this was all celestial. I got no demon readings anywhere in this. All celestial.
Even from the center?
Yep. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, these gods are like kings, you know? It's like, oh, you're my best friend, I'm gonna make you rich. What's that? You built a better palace than mine? I'm gonna cut your head off.
No one's casting these. I'm just checking out what Nom Nom has.
Mighty fine DC. That is what Nom Nom has.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a nifty DC.
He's got a wisdom stone, I think.
Yeah, my spell save DC sucks. Well, it's not horrible, but it's only 15. Which I'm going to call horrible.
Well, at our level, it kinda is.
I'm going to just start casting dex-based spells.
Oh, daggers.
I cast dagger. No, that's to be fair. But if he starts casting daggers, he has nothing to lose.
Okay, I think those. Nom Nom just basically states, "Ah, man, I forget how Nom Nom sounds." I don't know. I'm just gonna make up a voice. It's been a while. I do have stone shape, divination. This is not how Nom Nom sounds. Control water, tongues, clairvoyance. Those might be able to help, perhaps. As he's eating a giant hamburger, like mess everywhere. I remember that at least. Although not a hamburger.
Can you put that clairvoyance thing inside the shell there?
Vocal somatic material.
Divination sounds good. We could have Nom Nom ask what would happen if we release this thing within the next hour. Unless you guys think it would take longer than an hour to try to release this thing.
Technically clairvoyance wouldn't work that way, but I'm willing to have it work this way. But go on.
Well, I'm talking about divination.
Yeah, I know. I was just rereading clairvoyance. But go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Toulouse.
Huh?
Oh, I thought I heard you
What
speaking.
happen if we release this thing in?
You don't
Wait,
know.
what do I have to do?
Oh, I thought I heard you speaking. Then I accidentally talked over you.
No. I said that sounds like a good plan.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like good. I was agreeing with them.
But yeah, divination might be able to help. Non-known states. After Gothos gives an idea. Your magic can offer you contact with a good or with a god or a god servant. You ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. The DM offers a truthful reply. The reply might be short phrase, cryptic rhyme, an omen. The spell doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as casting additional spells or blah 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 blah. If you cast a spell twice, more than before finishing your next long rest, 25% chance for each casting after that. Random reading. Okay. So since he's never casted before, currently, it would technically work if you guys want to do that.
Sure. Ask if it's a good idea to release this thing.
None does state it. The language just needs to be precise. So someone needs to write down what exactly I need to say.
How about something along the lines of, if we release this creature, are we releasing a good creature? Or something along those lines?
Write it down. He gives you a piece of paper
Well,
that's
I think I got something
titled
here.
Chat.
Hang on, okay.
Just for clarification, I was figuring we could come up with a consensus on the question before actually submitting it.
Yeah, I know.
So,
That's what
Yeah.
he's saying. Like, write it down and then go through rhyme and approval. Although
I was
rhyme
saying
makes no
that
sense.
as
Then.
clarification to everybody else.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Here's my submission. Very simple. Just keep it simple.
That is simple, but also very, very vague.
All right, should we change that to positive and negative?
That is also very, very vague.
Any other ideas?
Would it be
Mm.
boon or
Anyway, here we go.
Like, I'm not trying to be rude here, which I am. I can see that. But whether it be good or bad, dependent. Good or bad for you, good or bad for the world, good or bad for the
Specifically,
god,
it says
goddess.
good or bad for us. The
Who's
whole
us?
sentence is, would it be
Us.
good or bad for us?
the group, the entity that is right here in this place that is not the kraken in the next room or the creature in the file.
Yeah, here we could say like within this purple shell or whatever, but that's my...
I like. Yeah.
A little less vague, but a DM/me can definitely mess with you.
We could go.
Num hands out pieces of papers for everyone.
Hey.
If anyone else wants to come up with ideas.
Like, will we die?
That is a good question.
If we release this being. Mm.
Well, for what it's worth, if we release a terrible evil that decides to spare us for releasing it, that's not necessarily a good thing, even if we don't get harmed.
Potentially, yeah. Alright, here's potentially Toulouse's question.
What class is he?
It's my settings and seeing what players see.
Clearly an illusionist.
Yeah, that's a good one. Will we die? If we release. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course we will. Everything dies.
If we release it.
This is
Yeah, we're
this in connection to the release.
Yeah,
Got those not just
no.
being mean, which I would
you
totally
said the DM.
which I would totally be willing to do, but based off of the wording itself, it would be in connection with the release.
Not just like, you're gonna die. It's like, yeah, everybody's gonna die one day.
I suppose it depends on what god you're asking.
Hmm?
Nom Nom finishes his burger. Hinder or harm our group or goal of ending the fiendish takeover of the Underdark, the people we care about, or those we owe allegiance. I'm assuming this is in connection with your previous question.
Yeah, I can keep listing stuff, but how long do you want this question to be?
Right now. This is as much as you get, Soap. Will the release of the entity contained here hinder or harm our group in any way? Our end goal or ending the fiendish takeover of the Underdark, the people we care about, or those we owe allegiance. All right. Can you make that a little bit clearer, Gothos? Like, what are you trying to say here?
Okay, will the release of the entity contained here hinder or harm our group, our goal of ending the fiendish takeover of the Underdark, the people we care about, or those we owe allegiance?
Okay. Thank you. I was trying to read it a little bit awkwardly.
Yeah, like split. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. That could work. There's still some loopholes here and there, but, less now.
Well, there's one other way to ask, which would be a bit of a backwards way, but it's more intuitive. Would we regret releasing this creature?
Depending on the god, it could work. You just have to choose the god next.
Or if they go off and kill your dear old mom, but you never know it was them.
Well, no, I'm thinking a little more in-term, whereas we release the thing, something unpleasant happens, it doesn't kill us, but it walks away, and we're going, oh shit, we shouldn't have done that. I think it'd be a little more, immediate.
Yeah, you'll not hear that noise on an iPhone.
But it becomes more widespread, even if this creature doesn't kill us personally or our family. If we have any living family, then it doesn't mean it's something we want to release.
Like, if you want to be pessimistic, definitely. That would be something you can definitely do. But I will tell you that more than not, I don't go with, like, sure, you can, like, help a bad guy. Plenty of my groups have done it before. My Sun group especially. But I'm not going to, like, go over the point of they don't do something now, but in 3 months' time, you wind up seeing that your long-lost dragon dad got stabbed in the heart and is dead.
Anyway, I vote for my wording, because I did it, obviously.
I'm also not saying they're good. Air quotes. It's entirely up to you guys. Okay. So there's one vote for Gothos.
I will abstain.
Okay, I've got a slightly revised version of Kobo's thing.
Okay.
If we...
If we knew the true nature of the creature, would we regret releasing it? If we knew the true nature of the creature.
So it's asked.
It would be an interesting answer. Again, it would depend on the god you ask. So
Well, I guess
before
that
you
depends
ask the
on
question, what god do you ask this question?
Well, it has to be Nom Nom's god, doesn't
I'm
it?
gonna say you can choose a different god.
Tyr, he knows everything.
Yeah, let's hold off on that. Who is a lawful good god of honesty and truth?
So Gothos, I don't remember Nom Nom's god, so I
I
got
know.
nothing.
Neither do I. But hey, yeah, no, I vote for the lady. She's she's been on our side so far.
The lady.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Eldeth?
No, shit. What's my god's name? Timora.
I don't even know.
It is uncouth to name the lady. Lady Luck, Timora.
Antidote just looks at you. If it's uncouth, why do you say it twice?
I didn't say it in my voice.
Nobody ever said Gothos was couth.
Gatos says it like that. Say it in my voice.
That was internal monologue.
Well, we are gonna ask a god. Maybe we should ask the great observer himself, Helm.
So what? He sees all? Does he see the future too? Then?
Well, he is the observer. He
That
may
is not
know.
an answer.
Are there any gods that know the future? Are there any gods that know the past?
Tyr, Bahamut. Who are other good gods here?
Well,
Garl Glittergold, but I think he's a little tricky.
Most of those gods don't know the future, but they are good-ish gods. Also, there are very varying flavors of good-ish gods.
Well, technically they're all lawful good, so I figured that was close.
Yeah, but they're different flavored. Bahamut travels with like 7 birds and like goes around cities and like goes, "Hey, you been doing good? No? Punished. Hey, you been doing good? Yes? Okay, keep doing a good job." Leaves.
Right. Yeah, some of those lawful good guys are real dickholes.
yeah.
You ever
yeah.
seen
Yeah,
someone
but that's
give out
kind
a
of what we're
ticket for
looking
jail?
for right now.
You ever
Isn't
seen
that kind of
someone
what
give
we're
out a
looking for
ticket?
right now?
No, because
Like,
it could be
it's-
one of these d-holes who gave this guy imprisonment for life for jaywalking or something. Oh, he broke the
Well, that's
rules.
just
Related.
it. He's not gonna. He's not gonna be able to tell us, "Oh, you can't do that. I'm gonna stop you." Right now, we're just looking for a logic puzzle. It's the 2 doors. One door tells the truth. One door lies.
Yeah, they wouldn't
How do
tell
figure out
you,
going in? It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, they wouldn't tell you. They would stop you, Kobo. But Boom just posed an interesting question. Why was the creature we're planning to release in prison in the first place? That would give you an answer, and dependent on the answer, it could just straight up tell you.
All right.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
I
go
am
with that one.
genuinely
Yeah,
surprised I
that's a good
didn't think
idea.
of that question.
Wait.
You still
Laugh it
need to
down.
decide what god. But honestly, if that's the question, any of them could tell you.
Well, let's put it this way. Timora already likes one of us in the group. You guys ever been blessed by a god before?
Trip does state multiple times, in fact. This is not my voice.
Yes, that is not your voice. Who are you and what have you done with Trip?
It's been a while. But yes, multiple times. It's worse, but better somehow.
Not really.
Timora, Tyr, one time Bahamut and a crazy wild night with dragonborns here and there.
That's 2 for Timora.
I mean, not anymore.
Oh, wait. So how many of them like you still?
Tyr's fine with me. Like, he shows you, like, some of the symbols he carries, like, If you've ever been to a concert, sometimes they carry things here and there, to, like show they've been here before. So he carries emblems of Timora and other gods. He shows you that Timora's emblem has been like darkened, as in no longer favored.
Oh no.
He has like a handful of these, and Tyr's the only one that's still like slightly glowing.
It's
So
literally
does-
carrying around bad luck. All right.
So does repeatedly surviving to see the horrors of war count as being blessed by the gods or cursed by the gods?
It depends if your god is Mars or.
And it depends on how you feel about it, doesn't it?
It also depends if you're also, enjoying yourself from time to time. If you are cursed, generally you don't enjoy yourself.
Well, not all curses are bad.
Points
Sort of.
towards handful of cursed symbols. Yeah. Puts them back underneath his shirt.
Okay, so are we all going to agree not to take Cursed Boy's advice?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't advice. I was just telling you. You asked the question.
I still suggest Tyr. He is the god of law and justice.
So he's probably the biggest chance to find out that he is the one that put it here.
Now remember though, we know that he's the god of law and justice, so we can interpret his response appropriately from his point of view. But he would be very straightforward in telling us.
So there's a good chance he might just say something like, he broke the rules.
Breaking the law, breaking the law.
Okay, how about this? What was the chain of events and actions that caused this individual to be imprisoned? Because just why? It's like, because he broke the rules. Okay, go.
No, I'm only going to tell you I'm not going to mess with you that way. I know I was joking around, kind of. But I'm not going to give you a short-winded answer.
You presented us with a door that may or may not be locked. It's going to take hours, okay?
Sorry.
There's a revised question if we gotta cover it.
That would also work.
Okay, let's do it. I'm down.
No, I ruined my grammar there a little bit, but that's
It's
okay.
fine, I understand.
So,
I don't.
Kobo votes for Tyr. I vote for Timora still, because Paladin, stubbornness. Tell you what, I'll flip you for it, unless somebody else is going to vote.
Gotham
Well,
flips
I
Kobo the
Flipping for
bird.
it's exactly the flipping for it is exactly why I have a reason against your god. Nothing that I have against your god, I don't. But your god is the god of gambling and adventure and taking a chance. So her answer might be, sure, release it. Let's see what happens. And that would be bad for all of us.
If we ask
I
her
want
what
somebody with a
specific
little
deeds,
bit more judicial authority.
we're
I would
asking
like
what
to-
specific deeds, but
I
Bracked, yes, hello, sorry.
would like to put another god forward.
Okay.
Helm. He is the seer of all. You would probably know, as he is neutral on everything. He does not act. So if he has any involvement in this, it would be likely that
That
it's
would
not the case.
actually be a good idea, having a true neutral source of information.
So you get your facts and you get them unbiased.
Okay, yeah, I don't vote for my suggestion. That actually sounds like a very reasonable course of action.
Because he is the great seer, the visual.
Lawful neutral.
Yeah, he's lawful literal.
I've
Or
been
the part of
outvoted,
the
which
deeds
allows me to save face with Timora.
All right, Trip, you gonna be the tiebreaker?
Oh, no, not really. This is also not my voice, but it is my stage voice. Why can't I remember you? But it's already been 2-1, so I'm gonna go with also the mistress as well. So I don't, as an NPC tiebreak group, vote. Because I continually do that
Actually, you
with.
just tied.
So he's
Tied to
just
vote.
ties to vote.
He's like, yes, it's the job of the NPCs to create conflict.
No, he's more like saying, the DM is not going to vote
Yeah.
because he has 35 votes, technically.
I say
Caboose,
the
boom, you want to break this? Yeah.
I say the neutral one.
Helm.
Yeah.
Okay. Nom Nom votes for Gothos, so at least, and then the rest of the 35 contingency group, splits the group apart, so, it's still Kobo, Toulouse, and, Brack that win. Generally also boom. Unless you decide to switch your vote.
No, I thought it was a good idea. I just don't want my character to have to vote for something not Tamora.
I know.
Oh,
Okay.
that's the gamble you have to take.
Nom Nom begins to write the inscription on the ground and then eventually casts a spell. You do see an ebony blade warrior with metal regalia all about them. No flesh or tone whatsoever as metal. Metal armor is just enshrouded. They are enshrouded by the metal armor. Looking towards you in like a ethereal visage. About maybe 10 times the size of all of you, including Bract. I guess 9 times the size of Bract. Not their true size, but a size all-encompassing whatsoever. They do look towards you. I don't know. Worshipped by guardians, paladins, blah, blah, blah. I guess it would be forceful. But with a kind, gentle adherence. I have been summoned. I don't do god voices.
We'll just like elbow Nom Nom and be like, do the thing.
Elbows boom. Do the thing.
Do that thing.
Yeah, it was your question. You have to read it.
Oh, okay.
Speak the words.
As people are mumbling, what question have you for Helm, guardian of gods, paladins, and those seeking protection?
I thought you said he was the observer.
Vigilant one and the watcher.
As he finishes the damn line.
Oh, mighty
wasn't-
one.
Go with other titles.
What specific deeds caused the creature that we're planning to release to be imprisoned in the first place?
He broke the law by. I am just. He wouldn't say joshing with you. That still doesn't make any sense. I am simply causing
God of dad
merriment
jokes.
for you all. The being inside crossed here after they stole their armaments, stole their very powerful blade, in order to protect one of the colonies. Colonial homes. Yes, that one. Villages that was set to be destroyed in a cataclysmic event. Thereby allowing their kindred to prosper further on. They were then punished by being sealed inside this stone of two faces, being encapsulated by the gems that you see all around you. If you want clarity, I can give you a little bit of clarity. It doesn't say I can't be clear. It just says I can be cryptic.
I think I was just going to say we're all being very respectful of the fact that the spell says one question, but if this is a conversation...
Yes.
Well, I can clarify the question. It just means you only get one question.
I think that would be a good idea.
That's marvelous!
Start the monologue for 30 minutes.
So, is
what-
there anything of actual note you want clarified? So, basic
you
thing
said
was
that
he
this
stole
guy-
the Sword of
oh.
Tyr in order to protect a village that was destined to be wiped out of cataclysmic event. sealed
guess
in
what
the
if-
stone of two
What if
faces
the,
with the
yeah,
gemstones you see around you. Sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
but the population of those towns that was supposed to be wiped out actually survived and spread their brethren or kin or whatever throughout the lands. What if the population of those villages were mind flayers? We don't know that.
Yeah.
Or something equally horrible.
Well, looking at
Which
it then
should have been
as
wiped off the face of the earth.
looking at it as clarification for the question, then, is if he was doing it to protect a village,
But a village,
yeah, was
We've
he
essentially
protecting
been asked-
evil, dangerous creatures, or the more socially accepted humanoid races, for lack of a better term?
Yeah, Great Lord Helm, details if you would. Who are the people that this person saved?
Ah, yes, right. Well, in ancient times, there was a event where the Orcish tribes came in about a new breed, opened a gate, a fissure, if you might, to their general normal plane. When they were doing so, another race themselves were also encapsulated in this war, known as the Goblins, the Drow, and the Elves. Well, technically the Drow and the Elves were the same thing at that point in time. But when this happened, the ones that were guarded by this tyrannical in Tyr's sense, they protected the ones known as the goblins and elves from being totally destroyed by the successors. As when the orcs, most of them, were driven out once more, and the elves fell into the darkness, there was this individual protected as best they could. With
Just to
Tyr's
clarify there, it
justice.
was elves and goblins that they protected?
Yes. Based off of the
Well-
context clues, Gothos, you can tell that this was the event when orcs came in from a different plane of existence with their god and began to take things over with the help of goblins as well.
Fucking
But then
Grunish.
a lot of them were being pushed back, and a lot of them were dying here and there. Same with in this same type of time scale, give or take, God time scale. The elves were also in a trench war of who's going to lead, and Olaf was trying to abide for their own power. So this, based off of the context clues they've given you so far, would be maybe the prime drow, I guess is the best way of describing it.
the right hand of Lolf.
No. Like
No,
the
this is
progenitors before
Lolth
the drow.
takes over.
Yeah, so proto-drow.
This is like the guy who was like, all right, we're going to split from...
Before the drow
other-
were cursed.
Yeah.
So this is an elf who is leading a rebellion against other elves?
No.
No?
This celestial, it's still celestial,
Oh, okay.
stole Tyr's justice, came down to the material plane, protected the goblins and the elves from total annihilation. Based on the context clues, the total annihilation of the faction of Loth and the goblins themselves. Why, you don't really know. Maybe they thought it was unlawful, unjust to punish all. You're not entirely sure.
Happy we didn't go with Tyr. We may have gotten a biased reaction.
But they also said
Well-
Tyr's justice as if it was an object rather than, I guess, a personification of something.
Yeah, I thought Tyr's justice was his sword or his big flaming sword.
Yeah.
He said sword, so yeah.
Well, maybe he
Kobo,
thinks
good,
for the
good for you
sword.
for listening.
Can I ask how, or can you clarify how this person was, this celestial individual was brought to Tyr's, but not brought to Tyr's justice, that's the sword, we just clarified that, but
Yes.
the justice of Tyr?
Well, he works underneath Tyr, so this is not my voice. Why do I keep changing them? he does state, well,
A god can be any voice they wish to be.
that is true. They were still under the employ of Tyr, and when they truly fell, give or take, dependent on falling, they were still under the employ of Tyr, and well, since they were the god that gave them strength, they were the one that could bind it into them and hold them still. Only truly when someone goes awry or does something opposite of what the god wants, do they interact. It's why you can communicate with either me, one of my servants, changing the voice in mid-sentence, or any of my clergy, really. It's also how and why some clergymen and some celestials fall. We don't have over-dominant power, we just have give them strength and believe they can do our bidding. Deeds, worship, whatever you want to call it.
Wait, wouldn't that, sorry if I'm being pedantic, but wouldn't that just imply that Tyr actually didn't disapprove that much of their actions?
No.
Because they're still connected?
They're still connected, sure. But it's the same glance as you don't want to punish one of your highest, strongest men because it looked bad on you.
And so did they fall in battle, or was it like years later when they died or something?
That's a different question.
I think this is a case of too big to fail, and thus they put them in the fridge.
A little, yeah.
Does anybody else want some clarifications?
No. I think we free the creature, we capture the creature while it's still weak, take the sword, and then bludgeon them to death.
Jesus.
You just see the guy that's like semi-translucent. Well, good luck with that. And then they begin to fade away.
I was gonna say, yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean he still has the weapon.
And they're gone. You didn't ask.
I mean, if they died
I was
and their
addressing
spirit wasn't...
I'm messing with you.
What do you mean? Adventurers routinely get locked into prisons with all their equipment. It's the right thing to do.
Especially after they've died and been transmitted to the god's plane of existence.
Well,
Are we gonna bust this prison open or what? Yeah, I'm definitely for sticking to Tyr for that one. It seemed like a dick. You gonna save some goblins and imprison a guy for all eternity? Fuck that.
Antidote does state, not that I am not against protecting people of Gothos, but they were in war. I'm not saying it was good or bad, but there are some cases when people act viciously in war. And someone, I'm not saying this person is good or bad inside this prison, but people can not have the same prevailing views as their leaders. That being the case, though, I am not exactly one for genocide myself, so I am not opposed to opening and seeing what happens. I'm sure Bract can take a Celestial if he really tries. Slash does state...
Knuckle?
Slash...
Against the murdering Bract, by the way.
Does state, based off the time spans of what they've stated, this is the time before the curse placed upon the Drow people. So we're more than likely looking at someone that protected Lulth's kindred spirits before they were actually truly evil, controlled by her. Thankfully enough, they're not sun elves, though. They're very vicious and racist.
Right? These were the people who were trying to get away from sun elves, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Like, not for naught, elves are usually seen as divine, omnipotent beings, beautiful and ornate. The sun elves are very vicious and very, very cruel. But they don't consider cruelty as normal people do. Honestly, I'm glad that phase of their lives, other than in the Feywild, has come to a close. Like some subsects, I suppose.
But yeah, let's try and break it out and see what happens. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, we kill it. And,
Nom Nom while eating a chicken wing does state. It did say, no, nom nom. I'm gonna stop making the noise. Something about imprisoned, something 2 faces, gemstones. I suppose we can break it if we want.
Yep. Just
This is like
break it
Nom Nom's 4th voice.
in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's because of the spice of the hot wings. They're very spicy. That's his voice just changes a little bit every single time.
I'm gonna roll a wisdom check to see if I can figure anything out about this.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I have no idea what that means.
I'll join you on the wisdom.
2 faces and the view. Something we need to break the faces?
You can roll wisdom.
Wisdom.
Well, I'm
Or
only rolling
insight,
wisdom
honestly.
as a joke, just so you know.
I know. But Kobo actually truly rolled insight, so I'm gonna give him something.
Oh wait, what do I roll?
Can
Insight.
we roll insight?
Well, my insight is the same as my wisdom, so
Yeah, it's clear to me that you're not fully registering everything. Okay. Gotha, that's pretty good. That's a 20. Toulouse also pretty good. Kobo, 17, nice. Even has jokes. 14 and 18 are pretty good. But I'm gonna say everyone else figured it out
All
before
right,
everyone.
that's my insight
and
check
then we have
against.
Kalsa.
That one's
No, it's too late.
no, it's
too
not. This
late.
insight check is
It's
this
too
insight
late.
check is it's for Kobo. I'm doing an insight check on Kobo.
Oh, you can tell Kobo might be part of a dragon lineage.
That you're not sure.
Maybe gold. Metallic.
He's got scales. I don't know.
He's a scaly
what are you
boy.
looking at Kobo for, Boom? Like, what are you trying to read?
What he's up to.
Currently practicing his words, penmanship, and like Toulouse is also helping him while people are debating on what to do.
All right, how about this? Do I believe that he's actually semi-literate or illiterate or?
He seems to be understanding, getting better. Right now, he understands common and how to read it a little bit. Maybe not primordial just yet, but he's working on it.
Yeah, I've got common and undercommon and infernal. I can read a little bit with Toulouse's help. Draconic, halfling, and primordial. I can't read it right yet, but I can still speak them as a verbal language.
Yeah.
It actually makes you significantly more literate than like most of the world.
True. But I digress. Based on all your rolls, I'm going to say the group figured this out. Based off the wording and the lineage and all that, blah, blah, blah. The gemstones are likely some type of focuses to keep the prison there, so breaking them might release the thing. A prison of 2 faces might mean that there's something on the other side of the floating island thing. It's hard to tell. It's on water, so there's got to be some way of figuring that one out. And this thing might have been imprisoned with the blade itself. You're not entirely sure. But what you can tell that the prison of 2 faces just means that there's 2 sides to this prison. The gemstones are what's keeping it there. So if you destroy them, you let that free.
So it means 2 sides, not, for example, a reflection.
You
right,
look
I'm
at the
gonna go-
water, no reflection.
I'm gonna run and jump over.
There's no reflection in the water, guys.
You already knew that. It's super clear. I made mention of this multiple times.
There's fresh water, and you said reef sharks?
Reef sharks.
Are they-
Boom, you jump onto the island. It buckles, but thankfully enough Bract is big enough to house 3 of you on opposite ends.
Now
Wait,
that
so
I'm
you-
over here, when the sharks aren't too close, I'm going to just dunk my head in the water and look under the platform real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Are there
There's
more
a
crystals
chain
and
leading to the
pillars
top.
on the bottom side of the water?
Thankfully there's not. But as you dunk your heads, immediately go ahead and roll Constitution saves.
Hey, what do you know? I suck at this.
Hey, you rolled a 10. Bad it's not a 20.
Kobo, you as well.
Room is drowning.
Oh, me?
You said you were
didn't
dunking
actually
your head.
duck my head. I said that's what I was going to do, but he did it first.
Oh, okay. Then I guess just boom. Saving yourself. I see what you did there. Throwing Boom under the bus. I'm
I
kidding.
wasn't gonna-
I'm kidding.
As Boom apparently just drowned.
As Boom begins to drown, Boom, you can see that there's inscriptions on the other side. Primordial, do you speak it?
I
Read
do
it.
not.
You notice it's the same type of writing on this surface, but then as you dunk your head, immediately your eyes begin to freeze over, your skin begins to be cold and tighten it. You remove your head from it, and you're now exhausted.
Oh no, I'm turning into Pico.
Oof.
You basically just dunked your head in blistering cold water.
Cold water won't cause blisters.
It won't. But for some reason, that
Pipe.
adjective is described in multiple media, so I just keep calling it that way. In non-blistering cold water.
Let's see, does this sheet have an exhaustion chart?
It
Yeah,
just
it
means
does.
you have disadvantage on your skills. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. I've had this exhaustion before as Pico. But yeah, I'm used to having a little chart to remind me constantly of just how much I'm screwed up.
If you go to the page with the cogwheel, if you go in the right bar, the 5th, in the 5th of the general options from the bottom, there's show exhaustion tracking.
Hmm.
All right, thank you.
It's not
Thank you.
there unless you actually activate it. But Kobo, go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, now that I've seen that happen and we pulled
You just see
Boom
Kobo
up and-
come out of the water, freezing. You don't.
No, just see boom.
Yeah, sorry.
Kobo comes over to Boom.
I was
Now
looking at your
knowing the
token
cold-
and said your name.
Sorry. Yeah, no.
Kobo looked at
Now
himself.
knowing the cold temperatures of the water and looking down at the fish in there, does Kobo know any like Arctic fish? You know, fish that normally swim in the Arctic freezing cold.
I want to say
Waters.
super no. You live in the Underdark, man.
Yeah. Okay. Shoot.
Well, there's some really cool writing down there, and by cool I mean ice cold.
Man, I keep
And I'm
giving
more
you
than
the
ice cold,
hint,
truth be told.
but no one seems to understand what to do.
I use prestidigitation to try and dry and warm Boom up.
You know what? I'm gonna give it to Gotho since he's not here. Whenever you guys keep jumping on the pedestal, it buckles underneath your weight. Thankfully enough, though, since some of you, or at least one big of you, is on the other side, it doesn't accidentally dunk all of you into the water.
Oh, so if only one person got on this, you could theoretically flip it over.
Enough weight. Not one person. Brack jumped on there and it was fine. It did move, but not so much that it was completely displaced. But the more weight kept getting added to one side. Thankfully enough, Brack is a very big boy, and Toulouse and Kobo are quite small. And Boom mediates it at this point in time. Right now, it's even weight.
So if the three of us jump off, Brack will get dunked, but he'll flip the thing over, and then we'll be able to see. But
No, it just means it's no longer
We don't
going
even
to
know Brack.
tip if someone jumps on it right now.
But I was saying, if Boom, Toulouse, and Kobo jump off it, then it's unweighted again and it'll flip over. But that means Brock takes a dunk.
Potentially, if someone jumps on it.
Yeah.
It's not so unbalanced that if all three of you jump off, it'll flip him. It just means that if someone jumps on there, it'll buckle it and cause Brack to maybe sink if he stays on there. Is what Gothos tells you all.
Well, I have a really dumb idea.
You can also
That's
just
not
dunk your head
you.
in there if you really want to. And continue to take exhaustion until you read it.
Or roll
This is probably
above
not going to
itself.
work, but I'm going to try and cast Tiny Hut on this, in the center of this platform.
I have a question.
And go for it.
My eyeball, Would it be able to withstand the cold water?
Oh yeah, I forgot about your eye. Yes, but you can't see through your eye, so.
Oh shit! I thought,
I thought
I,
she
I
could.
thought I was able to see 100.
Oh yeah, that's right. What am I
Yeah, she
thinking
can.
of? I literally gave you
It's
that
an eyeball. Yeah.
description.
Monster eyeball, so I wasn't sure if it'd be able to withstand the cold
Yeah.
water or not.
Oh well, screw me and my puzzle. Yeah, Brack, you were gonna say something before Toulouse figured it out.
Well, I could just shove my head underwater and just look.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
a little
really
pansy.
cold.
Yeah, it's really cold. Yeah. Do
No,
you
no,
notice
I
that
mean-
I walk in the middle of winter with just a kilt, right?
It's not that warm.
Mm,
Well,
I'll
it
try
still
my-
sucks.
Anyway,
While
Let me try.
while Boom argues on the concept of kilt and being warm but cold at the same time, Toulouse, you see your eye going, huh? I wonder if the eye can withstand it. And yes, it can. It's resistance to most elements. It just sinks. It's a ghost eye, so it would be. It sinks into the water and it's just like floating there for a little bit. It can't get too deep due to the. You don't know why. Now that I think about it, it can't get too deep, but it can get deep enough that I can actually see the other side.
Okay, so I can read it.
Go ahead and roll perception. Because I don't think your eye actually has dark vision.
I can cast cantrip light down there so she can see.
Yeah, okay. Still roll perception, but go ahead and do so. As Kobo like gets small rocks here and there and keeps dunking them in the water, causing the
Well,
reef
if I just
sharks
take out its,
and the water
if I take
fish.
out its, if I take out its stick and cast light at the tip of the stick and then just dunk the stick underwater lengthwise, it should be like a pole light lighting up the bottom half.
Sure.
Perception.
Oh, that's pretty good, Toulouse. Not surprising there. As you begin to do so,
Oh, you already made the roll.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, I did.
uh,
Thank you.
as you begin to look at it and figure out what might happen, Kobo dunks a stick in there, shining in light, illuminating the area, giving you a better viewpoint. Thankfully enough, with this, you don't get disadvantage. But when you begin to read it, you can tell that a whole bunch of fish, sharks are heading towards Kobo, but you read it before anything happens. On the other side, you can tell that there's another message, a setting stone of words that reads as follows. The one carrying the blade of justice, true in nature and true of heart, yet unreclined and unrelenting, not willing to hear the words of others, so I banish thee into the face of the stone, until you learn your lesson of not want and desire your own, but for the betterment of all. Here you shall stand in the wake, until you are needed once more, until you learn your lesson, or until I forgive you for your transgressions. For the crime of stealing my blade and adhering not to my words.
And theft blade.
And Kobo, go ahead and roll dexterity saving throw as reef sharks and fish are going to try to jump at you.
Sorry, my headphones
Yeah,
were fucking up.
I'm just holding the stick in the water. I'm not in the water.
They're going to try to jump at you.
Oh, jump at me. No. Hold on.
You don't think animals see a shiny thing and going directing towards it? Have you ever dealt with a bird? And more explicitly, a cat.
Hey, Kobo, here's a cool trick.
Nice.
I gently tug at his stick using Mage Hand.
You do so.
I'll let him take the stick and I'll step back from the shark.
Yeah, this is a good enough excuse for a natural 20. Boom, you use your mage hand to get the stick and begin to move the fish, the sharks away from Kobo, letting Toulouse, letting him read the rest of the message, which honestly you already read. But no one gets hurt, no one dies, and honestly Boom is just playing with fish at this point. Brack, you were saying.
They are subjected to laser pointers too?
Brack, you were saying.
I was saying that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I accidentally cut you off, and then Boom accidentally cut you off, and you already said it.
What? I
That's
did?
my bad.
Well, I forgot.
Okay. But Toulouse, you now know that, surprise, surprise, the god you asked the question of told you this, but gave you more context clues to this. They stole the sword that has already been given, and to release it on either them learning their lesson or until called by Tyr once more when they are needed. It seems the way it's worded very arrogant, but it's a god you're talking to, so there's that.
What a dickhead.
Well, I have one question just to put in everybody's minds. I otherwise don't really have an opinion one way or the other. But if said warden is powerful enough to lock this thing up, who's to say that our displeasing it might not result in our own imprisonment?
That's because now the gods aren't able to like directly act on the plane anymore for some reason. That's why they have clerics.
They got aspirations.
Yeah. Technically, Kobo wouldn't know this. You yourself would know this. That's fine. But I'm going to say Gothos tells you this. And Kobo and Gothos, go ahead and roll for me religion.
Inspiration.
On yourself or Gothos?
Ow.
If I can.
Yeah, okay. You're not in a fight currently, so I guess you can.
What do I get
gonna
for
roll
inspiration? Double? Or sorry,
No, you get
advantage?
an extra
This would be
D6
more of a clerical
1d6,
thing
okay.
than anything else. Boom, if you in your past have dealt with the clergy, you're more than welcome to. And Kobo, you have, not in a good sense, of course. Multiple times when you were growing up, you've dealt with people like bringing you to churches and saying, "Can you cure this small child? They have been inflicted with scales of the kobold."
I got a 16.
Not bad.
Gothos got way better.
Through your understanding of things and stuff, Kobo and Gothos, there's a better way of describing that, but I didn't do it.
I love it.
You begin to talk between one another, and then you figure out, based on the time spans, Gothos, you've learned of like the gods walking on the mortal plane, and this is likely the time when whoever this person is stole the Justice Blade and was able to Justice Blade. Yeah, technically Justice Blade, and helped out the racists down here. If you had to guess, this was the time before the withdrawal of the gods from the mortal plane, to be enacted their will upon clergymen, paladins, and things of that nature. Which means you already know it was Tyr that bound them here. For whatever reason, they are caution wet floor. For whatever reason, they are no longer working here, which means that they may never be released, or if they are going to be released, it's by a clergyman of Tyr. But since, if you had to guess, based off the wording, the calligraphy, this was Tyr themselves that bound them here. And more than likely, when ever someone so high and mighty does something of this nature, whether it be king, god, deity, or whatever, emperor, they would be the ones to release them. But since they could no longer physically be here, who knows how long they've been trapped here.
Yeah, and ain't none of Tyr's little lackeys gonna go breaking one of his commandments.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy's trapped in here forever for saving some goblins and also proto-drow, fine, whatever.
Like various other people, but the things of note due to Tyr's thing was goblins and the proto-drow. Not exactly in those words, but...
And if, Tyr's not going to show up himself, and if he does send an avatar or whatever, personally, I'm going to quest to kill a god. I think that's a good training route. I'm all for it.
Based
I do
on
have...
what we found, I empathize with the poor guy in the prison, so I think it might be alright to release him if he's learned his lesson.
Well,
which he probably has over this long a time.
I was gonna ask, is there any hint of how long this thing was supposed to be locked up for? Like, have we found anything that stated that?
Toulouse, good call. Based off of the books and stuff, 2,000 years to 5,000 years, I forget.
Yeah, since before the drow even
Before that.
existed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Like a long, long, long time. This is a time when the primordials were still around. Dragons were more prevalent. The Yangti primordial race, I forgot what they're called. Humans were always humans. The dwarven primordial races, all of them were still around. So this is ancient times. Varying. So a long time. Like, to the point of generations of elves dying off and forgetting this ever happened.
Elves, people. Elves. So, sorry. Did you guys... I was away for a little bit because my headphones are fucky. Did you guys discover some sort of a trick to the thingy? Puzzle?
Yeah, break
Yeah,
the
we believe it's smashing all 7 crystals at once.
Seems pretty basic.
You're basic.
Yep.
Bitch!
basic.
What do you got there? 20-foot radius? Somebody's got a 20-foot radius spell.
Warning, prison
sure
break may
do.
await sleeping. That's an interesting warning on the table.
Yeah. A prison's only so strong as to house the thing inside. So if you can break the gemstones, it technically shouldn't harm the prisoner.
Yeah, and I can do it a lot quieter than
In
a
theory.
20-foot radius fireball.
This area over here with the crystals, how tall is that or the ceiling over there?
Tall enough that your that your bat had to squeeze through. So like 3 inches.
Your hideous bird bath familiar.
Wait, from floor to ceiling is 3? I mean, I'm not counting the crystals. I'm not, like, if the crystals didn't exist, how much space is there between the floor and the ceiling?
If the crystals didn't
Not
exist,
much.
10 feet.
10
But the
feet?
crystals are there blocking most all of it off.
Yes.
You guys got 10 minutes?
What's the plan?
Just in case there's a guard and that guard is asleep behind those crystals, I'd like to try to block that to buy some time so that if you guys struggle to break through those things, that we're not necessarily ambushed too quickly.
Sounds fair.
Hey, how are you going to block it?
I'm going to cast a tiny hut over there.
Sounds good to me.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and run back over, do a flying leap. Well, okay, not an actual flying leap. Parabolic arc. And then I'll come over here.
Wheel,
and,
triple flip.
And yeah, about... here's probably a good spot. I'll go ahead and just start casting the tiny hut right here.
Okay.
Well, remember, everybody needs to be in the tiny hut when you cast it.
Only if you want to be
No.
protected inside, but if you guys are going to be over there, you guys don't need to be in the hut.
He's just using it to body block.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause the,
Yeah.
the worm can't get through the hut either.
Worm,
Okay,
purple
that's
dragon, it's hard to tell. Ironically enough, speaking of that, I forgot that I was trying to bid for a Tiamat a magic card, and it already passed.
Oh no!
I forgot to
sorry.
do the bid. No, it's fine. I had like all week to do it. I just do it at the end to snipe it away, but didn't get to. It's fine.
On eBay or somewhere else?
eBay. Just
Ah,
plenty more. It was just pretty low, like less than $10. And that's
Worst thing I ever
American
did like
funny
that
money.
was... Worst thing I ever did like that was buy a concert ticket months in advance and then forget. And then like realize a week after the concert that I bought
Oh.
the ticket, be like, oh!
That's fine. But yes, you cast
remain.
Lehman's Tiny Hut, or a different spell, a house spell, to keep anyone from entering into the area. It encompasses and it warps around the crystal, but it also encompasses them theoretically.
Leoman's totally adequate hut. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, it's totally adequate, but tiny.
Lehman's non-compensating hut forms and envelops the crystal, not allowing anything through unless you want it through.
I'm gonna go ahead and make a suggestion that Toulouse and Barak might not want to be on this thing, but I can.
Okay, but who's Brock? Are you talking about Bracht?
Yeah, that guy.
Correct. Doesn't really on any of this when you lay the Obama.
Yep.
I don't get it. But yeah, Kobo makes mention because Kobo's the only one that wants to be there to say hi. Do people leave?
No, actually, everybody can say hi from the edges. I just think it's going to be dangerous here with him coming up.
Okay.
I mean, who knows what's going to happen? He could explode out.
Yoink.
Toulouse, Kobo, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw as the weight is heavily shifted.
I thought we were all gonna balance counter. Oh wait, we can't do that because we don't know about.
Well, I did make mention Gothos told you, so
Yeah.
roll with advantage. I'll give you that one.
Dexterity advantage.
Yeah, I see no reason why
Saving
Toulouse would
throw.
fail.
Me neither.
Yeah. You guys easily enough remove yourselves from the area. And Kobo, if you're staying or not, you just jump in the air before the weight buckles you into the water.
Okay, I'm going to come over to this one little part sticking way off on the side. And I'm going to reach into my pocket. And I'm going to pull out 7 silver coins. And I'm going to pull out my wand and wave it over my 7 silver coins and kind of toss them into the air. And I cast animate tiny objects.
Oh no.
Using my wand, kind of like a director, I have each of the coins hovering in front of each of the crystals, and at the same time, I will have them all jut forward and smash right through them. Do I need to make an attack roll or damage, or how would you like to do that?
So what exactly are you doing? Like, what spells are you doing?
It's
Animate object.
It's animate object, and I animated the silver coins. Let me pull it up here.
Okay, animate objects. You animated the silver coins.
Wow, attack plus 8 to hit for tiny. Those are really good.
Yep. Plus 8 to it, 1d4 plus 4 damage. So I'm sure that's going to be enough to shatter just a crystal.
Those are the little dudes you can summon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You summon the small coins. They grow small little metal arms and legs. You use your mage
Well, they
hands.
have a flying speed.
They do?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
They
I
have a
it in
flying
DB
speed.
on here. Yeah.
I don't
Is this
believe
animate object?
you.
There's a
I'm sure they
reason
do,
why
but I.
animate tiny
It's
objects.
so weird.
Are not DMs.
Its speed is 30 feet. If the object lacks legs or other appendages, it can use for locomotion. It instead has a flying speed and can hover.
Of 30 feet. Yep. So I've got hovering silver coins.
Okay.
I'm
Wow.
just going to bullet in like shot.
You see all 7 coins like begin to ram into the crystals. As they do so, they like hit the crystal themselves, and then you hear dun 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 dun. And then you see like the crystals begin to slightly crack, but not fully broken. Do you continue to do so until you break them through?
Yeah. It lasts for a minute, so I should have 10 attacks with each of my 7 coins, and I coordinate them so they all hit each crystal at the same time.
Okay. No one hears. Okay. You continue to do this for 10 minutes. Not 10 minutes. 10 rounds, and while you do so, Chip's like, "Oh, weird, strange notes," ramming them in until they finally break.
Well, wait a second. I was gonna say the do.
No, you're doing it now because I told you that.
Oh.
That's why I asked.
Well, I heard you.
Oh,
say
so,
before,
okay.
but It should
No,
have
no,
been a song
you
in
did
order.
simultaneously. You could ask them after one attack, but you definitely hit them simultaneously at least twice.
Yeah. I did ask. You know what? That seems kind of unfair. I want to say you hit it 4 times until you figure it out. You see the link almost fully broken, and then you realize, oh yeah, these things are making notes for some reason.
Anybody know the song?
No, not really. I just 5th voice today. I just can tell that they're all in E minor.
Tyler's reasonably tone deaf. He's not going to figure this out, so Kobo's not. So if anybody
All right.
else.
None of you are bards, so go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. don't we
Kobo
just-
is a bard. Kobo can do it. Tyler cannot.
Oh, you're right. I always forget that for some reason. I
They
always
got 2 levels in Bard?
yeah,
One?
because you multi-class.
2 levels of bard.
You haven't picked your bard college yet, though. Is the problem?
No, that's level 3. That's why I've been holding off.
What about
Yeah.
the bards that we have with us?
I don't allow NPCs to figure it out. So Kobo,
yeah.
go ahead. It's unfair. You guys have 35 NPCs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have a pan flute if I can just start doing
Kobo,
whatever the
go
notes
ahead.
are.
You don't have a college yet, so it's gonna be difficult, air quote, but not impossible. The bards there can help you. Go ahead and roll insight with advantage.
Inspiration. Click.
Wait, wasn't it? I know you're rolling, but Trip said he was good with tier, right?
Yes. Only
And
God,
this is a tier. This is a tier imprisonment place. So he might know any like song of tier.
that's why he
natural
gives you
20.
advantage, and that's a natural 20.
So 29.
Stop rolling. You already succeeded. Well. Okay. You just do it. As you begin to hear the vibrations of the air itself, you can tell that they are all in E minor. So he was correct on that part. But then you hear a battle cry of Tyr. The song given, but I'm not going to do the puzzle. You kind of already solved it with the natural 20. That's 2 puzzles tonight. Technically more than that, but it doesn't matter.
1 puzzle an hour. It's a D&D record.
You guys just rammed through them. You then begin to realize, oh, if we hit them properly, instead of hitting them all at once, or else something bad might happen. Boom and Bract might have been onto something. Some type of defensive mechanism might have been in play here. So you begin to remember the notes that have been played so far, and rhythmically you begin to do so until you form a pentagram pattern. Starting from your left until it finishes the markings. And then immediately you feel like something is about to open. A gateway, a door, whatever this prison is opening. Do you just stand there or do you take a step back? Because you will be face to face with this thing.
I'll go ahead and stay here. I don't know if I should or if this is what I need to do. But I'll stay here. But yeah, okay, yeah.
It was
Yeah, I
like
made
tipping
the
the
song.
platform. His heels are over the edge.
I don't weigh that much.
That's what you think.
That's what you think. And also true. As you begin to see that the patterns themselves begin to finish off, you can tell that the water underneath you begins to buckle and break until it begins to cause you to almost fall over. In fact, go ahead and roll another dexterity saving throw.
Whoa.
Okay. Unfortunately,
I
Whoopsie.
shouldn't have had, yeah, I shouldn't have had the advantage on that, but still.
it's still a 9. Okay. Well, first of all, the fallen angel is supposed to be a man, but I can't find fallen angel men.
Curses of you, internet art.
It'd be
Sorry.
an angel.
So just an androgynous angel, I guess, which makes sense.
I mean, yeah, if you look up like biblical Bible Bible
No!
angels, it's
If you
like
look up
12.
Bible angels, there's like floating wheels and fire.
Exactly. They're not
Uh,
supposed to make sense. They're not made in God's image. We are. God. Duh.
but they can take the shape of man, which they can, decidedly. But I digress. My Sunday school aside, you can tell that you're about to fall until you see this angel just appear. They're not this big. I just need to import them because I forgot to. And I just found their token. While they begin to emerge into the area, thankfully enough, it was in the GM layer, so that solved that problem.
No.
Run for your lives! It's so big, its legs aren't even on the map.
Thankfully enough, it was that big. But it is a large-sized creature now. As it begins to arrive and just show itself, I'll look for other actual artwork later. Kobo, you just fall into the water and go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw. Oh, so
Again.
can Kobo swim?
No.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
I
I was
can
about to say,
swim.
you can say yes.
yeah. Kobo can swim. You know, he's had to swim through underground rivers and stuff before.
Okay,
Just-
I-
he didn't really have to read and write.
Thankful enough, you did pass, so no exhaustion, but you are brittle and cold. You managed to grab onto
Scramble.
the rock and begin to
Scramble.
scramble up top.
Yep.
The angel roughly, what is this large size? Like 10 feet technically? 10 to 12? This, I want to say something in the middle. 11-foot tall angel. Sorry, Bract. I think you said you were 8 or 10 feet tall. I forget.
9.3.
9.3. Magic system. Stands up after being released. You do see that a blade is in their hand, so not about to attack you, but as if they were released from their imprisonment. Not fully aware what's happening with not tendrilled vines, but a shadowed form of energy around their left hand. And I'm going to say, Gothos, you got this. Tears Justice in the right. So yeah, they still have the treasure. Air quotes.
Who was it that smoked Primordial again?
I do.
speak it.
I do.
Fact, also, don't try to kill the celestial being right off the bat.
Dogma, you say there is some darkish gibbity-goo going on, right?
I told you he's celestial.
Like, Brack, you can tell that there's some darkish gobbledygook in their left hand. This angel has been fallen, so which means that currently not in the graces of Tyr, but still holds power of Tyr, which just means that they're still celestial.
I
But
do draw my sword.
yeah, you can tell that they're in a stance of defensive measurements. Like, they weren't thinking they're about to be released in this point in time. So when they were, they're like, have no idea what's happening. So right now they're actively defensive. And in Primordial, you just hear them say something that most of you can't understand. But Brack, you do see in, I don't know, I guess in an androgynous voice. Again, supposed to be male, was supposed to have a beard. Silver-haired locks, but a lot of women with that description other than the beard. You just see them state, what's going on?
Hi.
In
My
Primordial.
name's Kobo. In Primordial, I say,
You just hear them state, Erathan in Hanha.
And we just
no,
see
I
Kobo
speak
do
Primordial. I
his
just
little.
don't read or write it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I speak Primordial. I just can't read or write Primordial.
Then you hear it.
Yeah, I was like, that's why I was talking back to him in Primordial. Hi, I'm Kobo.
Such a weird
You know?
conversation starter.
Yeah.
A lot's happened, and maybe you've missed a little bit.
I mean, it literally means a lot.
I like how the first thing you guys say to it is, "Hi, name's Kobold." You clearly are missing something.
Kobo, yeah.
A lot. You're just dunking on this angel.
I'm not
You're not
dunking,
meaning
I'm just-
to, but it sounds like you're like saying, "Hey, I'm Kobold. You clearly are missing a lot of things.
No, I'm not dunking on him. I'm just like, you've missed a lot of history.
I know,
Maybe
but
we can talk. I was going to keep going.
you
with
were literally
conversation.
saying this to a prisoner.
Yeah.
Former prisoner.
Yeah, you're
We
rubbing
might have
it
missed
in.
a few things. Yeah, well, he's not a diplomat. He's
I know.
not the person to talk like that.
In Primordial still, it does state, are you a follower of Tyr?
No.
Are any of they? Looks towards Bract and the rest of the team. Still in a defensive stance. They have not undrawed their blade. I guess resheathed it.
Do we understand the word tier?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a name.
You just hear,
Look.
in a Han Tyr. He says, ha.
If you're worried about Tyr, because he put you in here, you really don't. At least not directly. You know, you don't have to hit me with that thing.
Both also hold up a coin, the symbol of Timora.
You're just holding him a gold coin.
Well, if he doesn't know religious iconography, he shouldn't be asking.
It just looks like you're trying to bribe him. I'm assuming you mean like an actual gold emblem coin rather than a gold coin.
Like a coin on a necklace or something, or like.
Yeah,
I've kind of wanted Gothos to have like a coif or something, like a bandana around his neck of coins, like chain link. But
Timora's symbol is a coin, so it would just look like a large novelty coin.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming you mean, Gothos. Instead of I hold money in my hand, clearly he knows what this means.
If it was technically a religious symbol, I guess it would probably be heads on both sides because of that.
Yeah, you hold up your coin of Timora, showing the emblem of your goddess, technically. They nod, look towards the rest of your team. They're gonna roll insight.
I shrug. I literally shrug at that.
That's an 8. Even with a modifier, that's not that good.
I have a question. That weapon that I was given was from the Priests of Tears, right? The great sword. Does it have a symbol of Tyr on the great sword?
On the handle.
I may not be one of its followers, but I do believe his tenants.
Roll persuasion.
Are you speaking in Primordial still?
Yes.
Okie dokie.
I understand.
It's not
everything.
horrible.
I have comprehend language.
Yeah,
so
Toulouse, you still have it up. So you understand it. You
in that
can't
case,
speak
you
it,
hear
but you
Kobo
understand
floundering.
it.
In that case, you hear Kobo floundering, trying to talk to this guy.
Yeah. That's a 12.
As I do show him the symbol on the hilt of my greatsword.
Well, roll advantage since you're not hiding it, I suppose.
That's better.
That's better. They look towards you and nod. In Primordial, they do state, I suppose you can't be held accountable for the actions of a god, and their lack thereof of actions. Basically just dunking on Tyr.
Sorry, so Bract has a sword that has a symbol of Tyr on it?
Yes.
But he's not an adherent of Tyr, so it's in my head, it's not like super shiny or anything. It's just kind of like, I got a Tyr sword here. There's a little bit of dirt on it, maybe, but
No, it's most certainly very well maintained.
Yeah, it's very well maintained, but you don't see like a massive blessing like if a cleric of Tyr or something of that nature would be housing. Like, it does have like an enchantment based off of Tyr, but like Brat is not so favored they gain a massive boost due to that.
I don't have Paladin envy.
I thought it was just a +1 greatsword. I didn't realize it was a Tyr.
What? You don't envy Eldeath?
But it was given to us by the priests of Tyr.
Yes. But the celestial being who will remain in Andres for now. Or maybe forever. It's fine. Does look towards you and sheathes their blade, even though the art itself does not sheathe it. The miasmic vapor in its left hands begins to dissipate, and they do walk over. Well, they walk for like a little bit until they reach the water, looks towards Kobo and does state, would you like help?
Yes,
And then
please.
points towards the other side.
Yes, please.
They begin to lift their wings and like kind of scoop you with them.
Put you in the water for
I
baptism.
will also steal my weapon.
Unless you don't want to. And then they like put you next to the giant robot.
Okay.
While they simply like sit on the top of the rock. Like not trying to
Oh.
tower over you, but they're so damn tall.
Yeah.
They can't help it.
Well, there's a lot of history, and I don't know if you know it. So, anybody want to help in English or common?
What is this
This-
English that you speak of?
Yeah.
Common, I mean common.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Ingrid?
You guys give the basic things that you know of what's going down. Some of you begin to contradict others here and there. Then you tell them about your story and things of that nature. By the time you guys are done, it's time to take a long rest.
Mhm.
The last thing
Fill
you
in on
hear
the
is
history and
the last thing you guys hear is like Kobo maybe stating, and then I broke you free, and clearly it's me. So if you want to give me something, you're more than welcome to give me something.
I
When
don't
Kobo
think I
says
would
that, I
actually
boop
say
him on the
that.
back of the head.
Words in the player's mouth.
I'm kidding, unless you want that to
I know.
happen.
I'm busy being impressed and not sure how to react diplomatically.
I mean, other than their height, honestly, Bract also has height. They are just simply. It's kind of hard to read, but by their golden silvered locks, maybe at one point in time, music got a lot louder than I thought. Why don't I
Yeah,
just
but
change the music magic
Kobo-
volume?
Kobo knows the difference between a big creature like Bract and a angel creature like Celestial.
I mean, like, they're not trying to be imposing. They carry the armaments of the mortal. They don't carry, like, Holy Avenger armor or something of that nature. Huh.
He literally said he was wielding the.
I said
the-
armor. Like, other than the
Okay,
blade
okay.
and their height, they seem like anyone else. Although, I guess very pretty.
And the wings.
And wings. Well, the wings are retracted, so no longer wings.
Okay. So he's kawaii as fuck.
Kawaii as fuck. But they do state. Well, they don't state, but you can tell. You can be impressed. I'm not saying you don't. You can't be. I'm just saying that right now they're not
10-foot tall Final Fantasy
trying to be
looking motherfucker.
imposing or gallant. But they do.
Prettier than Toulouse?
What was that, Toulouse?
Oh, he's prettier than Toulouse?
Roll charisma.
Roll charisma?
Yes.
That's one.
Let's see it. Slap down.
Inspiration.
Where's charisma? That's the saving.
Your
There's
skills.
charisma.
You just click on charisma.
Oh.
Oh, he's
Inspiration.
prettier than Toulouse.
You're not sure if they're prettier than you, but you get that kind of envy of, oh, I'm supposed to be the pretty boy in this group. What is this person? They're a different kind of pretty, but it's kind of thing of, oh, another pretty person in this group. That's fine. That's fine. Kind of thing.
Toulouse is like, should I shave? No, that doesn't make sense.
Like looking up.
Don't get intimidated by a hairless slender monkey.
Again, was supposed to have a beard.
A bearded slender monkey.
Yeah.
Gorgeous man.
But they do state, well, before that, I was going to give a description. Based on their looks and all that, you can tell that they wear mortal armaments other than the blade itself. Their silver lock does suggest potentially that they were, at one point in time, a progenitor of the Drow. Just means that before they were cursed, which just means an elf. Although died long, long ago, then became celestial, and then became a champion of Tyr, and then fell. So that might have been one reason why they were able, or at least willing, to help out the at that point in time, and also believes that to wipe out an entire race of beings for the purposes of just a few of them, kind of not called for. Which is why they decided to go against and rebel. You can tell that this might be the reasons, and it was selfish in a way. But at the exact same time, they also helped out a lot of people. That being the case, though, it honestly depends on how much they helped. Because then they got imprisoned. And then Tyr's followers and the like kind of already damned the elves, then drow, and then the goblins, and then technically rural goblins, since they're not in city, to their fates.
So you said that this is like before they fell, so this one doesn't have one of those sweet cave tans?
It's a little tan-ish, but like not so tan that it's like ebony black.
I love your description of when it was like, fuck, I've lost it. Sorry, never mind.
That was quick.
But as they speak, they do state, well, thank you for telling me all this. If you like, you can rest. It has been some time, and I've more than enough rested for a few millennia. Who knows, maybe longer.
Has this guy learned common yet, or are we still relaying things through?
No, while you were talking, they've been listening to you, and somehow, at this point in time, they've been speaking in common. You've been speaking for hours.
Oh.
They learned.
Oh. I still have a few questions for you, though.
Of course. But more than welcome to rest. If you don't want to sleep, that's perfectly understandable. But if you'd like, I can give you the benefit of a long rest without necessity to sleep. This is known as an Elven Trance.
Yeah, do you sleep yourself, or could we just take shifts talking to you and then the rest of us sleep?
I can sleep. But if I do, I can't give you any benefits of that nature.
Yeah, but if we sleep in rotation and you just talk to us the whole night, is that going to be okay? You're going to be tired?
I'll be fine.
He just said that he could give us the ability to, like, elf meditate, rest without actually sleeping, so we can stay here and talk as long as we're just not moving around.
That would exhaust me, but it would not kill me.
I was under the impression that meditate... Yeah, so we just take shifts.
Like, exhaust in the terms of not actually taking a long rest for them. But they weren't going to do that anyways. They've been asleep for far, far too long. But they do state, you're more than welcome to, and also take shifts, if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll take first shift with someone else.
I'll talk later.
I'll stay up and keep talking, and I'll take, like, sleep later. Yeah.
Okay. So Gothos and Kobo first shift. Like, you begin to make camp, and the angel, whose name you do not know, is still there, fully awake.
I'm sure we would have asked him at this point.
Yeah, no, sorry. First off, what's your name? I'm Gothos.
I mean, Kobo, you say that, but you usually don't. It's fine. It's honestly a running joke. Yeah.
It's like angel. No.
The angel looks towards you, and I don't know. Now that it's androgynous, I'm changing the name. What's a good male and female name? I was thinking Troy.
Alex.
Joe.
Bobby?
Jeremy.
Gerald.
What's the Russian one? It's Stasha.
Jamie.
Dasha.
Sure. Shav. Spelled phonetically, so it looks awful.
Jeremiah, but with two eyes, so we don't know.
It was Troy, but now it's Stasha.
Dasha.
I am Stasha. Dasha. Okay. Thank you. Are things I do regret, but never the actions that I take.